Yeah, this is a very strange and difficult time that the world is going through. I think some of the important goals that we have to set are the goal that's centered around saving lives and at the same time saving businesses and the economy, and then saving the poor and the vulnerable. This, I think that the goals need to be centered around this. In my mind, with the huge pandemic that we have on COVID, it's imploding very rapidly into a societal, business, and economic crisis all around. And so there cannot be any other bigger agenda than saving lives of people. That to me is absolutely key. Then secondly, then you have to save businesses and economy. Because if you don't save businesses, there are no jobs. Then again, people without jobs, they cannot earn a living. So it's very tough. And then at the same time, you have to save the poor, help the poor and the vulnerable. Those, I think, some of the key goals that we'll have to bring everybody together in government in a collaborative way. I think if the president or the prime minister were to come very clear and declaring this as a national crisis, and that actually get everybody together, some of the deep-rooted bureaucracies are the way ministries are organized in government. They are organized according to certain bureaucracies. And obviously for a long time, there were silos. But if you think hard about it, that people are focusing on saving lives. In the case here, the health ministry is involved. But if you want to put a lockdown, the enforcement divisions are not necessarily the health ministry. It's the home ministry that's involved. The police are involved in the enforcement. So they are involved. And also all the other ministries, Ministry of Education has to make sure that the schools are closed, but then they begin to do many other things such as homeschooling and other methods of doing things. So you can see today, when you start looking at the big goals such as saving lives, saving businesses, and saving jobs, etc., then you'll find people breaking down the traditional silos in the bureaucracies. But I think it's important, right from the beginning, the get-go, the Prime Minister and the President has to declare how important is it that everyone must work together to achieve those common goals that are set. You see, when you set up the goals that are already broadcast to the world, in the number of deaths and the number of infections, you can see every day there's update. And if there is any problem with regards to the outbreak, the number of infections, you can see the police are also culpable. They're liable as well. The Home Ministry is liable. So everybody is involved. And so I would see when you put out the KPIs, if you like, the key performance indicators, you make them public, you can see everybody in government really coming together and being corralled by the key performance indicators and the progress that's made. I think making the results public is a very important one to make everybody accountable. And I would say too, that for example, if there are many, many jobs that are being lost, now the question arising is, how do you support the businesses? Now, in the case of Malaysia, the Finance Ministry have introduced, together with the banks, a moratorium for 6 months so that people who owe money from the banks, they do not need to pay for any of their loans during the 6 months period. Now, this is now the collaboration between the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Economic Affairs, then working with the private sector, the banks. You can see the collaboration that is taking place in doing this. And so many, many parts of the businesses require collaboration. I would say today, a large chunk of our budget for Malaysia has to be moved out from other ministries to help the health ministry and to make sure that there's enough ventilators that are there, the PPEs are then given. When you think hard about it, it's under the old system. Nobody will willingly say, I will give up my budget in my ministry so that the health ministry have enough budget for PPE, for ventilators, for new beds to be put out there. But in a crisis like this, because you put the target so public, the whole government is accountable to it. You would see today, there's tremendous accountability and also cross collaboration between the ministers. the Ministers of Finance, the Minister of Budget and Planning, and also the Minister of Health, and everybody coming together, and the Home Ministry. In fact, in the case in Malaysia, because we are really serious about enforcing the lockdown, we even have the Defense Ministry, the soldiers out there together with the police enforcing the lockdown. So very seldom you find the police at the same time the soldiers working together, but now you can see a classic case where they are working together to enforce the lockdown.